Guys, if you have the NBA Jam Arcade One Up cabinet, do not update it. That doesn't mean you have to unplug it from the internet. Just simply do not update. Hit no when you turn it on next time and it asks you to install an update. Before we get into that, there is a design contest for a cabinet decal or livery set, really, with Arcade One Up. You can go on their website. I'll put a link below if you want to check it out. Put your graphic design skills to work and see if you can win. It's not clear if it's really a winner. How cool would it be if the winner got to have their cabinet be resold by Arcade One Up? That would be super awesome. But I don't see anything like that. So I'm assuming at this point this is just a kind of a community building exercise, but kind of a neat idea. I've definitely seen, and I know many of you have too, my share of really cool custom artwork. Which, while I'm on that topic, I think there's absolutely an underrated design out there right now. Super old school looking from a YouTube user named Make It So. I would recommend you check that out if you haven't already. This cabinet looks dope in my opinion. It's nice and understated, old school and rustic. Maybe if old school drugstores back in the day had had arcade machines, maybe this is what it would have looked like. Kind of a cool idea. But back to the topic at hand, NBA Jam. So I installed this update just so I could show you what it looks like. It seems to speed up the gameplay by, I don't know, maybe double, something like that. These old school games would have a game clock that would run behind the scenes that would manage the timing of everything. At least that's my understanding. I'm not a developer. I could be off base here, but this is how it's been explained to me. And I think what's happened is that game clock has been inadvertently turned up, and so now everything just moves a lot faster. There were reports of audio bugs too. I only played it for a few minutes. I didn't notice any audio bugs, but it really doesn't matter. The game speed being cranked up is reason enough to just simply do not download this update. You don't need it. The benefit of this update is it somehow punishes you if you leave a game early, which I'm really excited to see. That's a good update. That's something I asked for in my review, and I know a lot of other people asked for that too. So I am really glad to see it. But you don't really need it. You get by fine without it. And in the meantime, just preserve your gameplay. Don't download the update. I kind of bit the bullet on this one. I downloaded the update knowing it was broken just because I wanted to show you, and there doesn't seem to be any other footage of it out there. But you guys aren't going to have that problem, so leave it alone. I'm sure they'll get this fixed soon, but certainly look forward to it getting fixed. And I will let you guys know when it is fixed. Big shout out to Reddit user Strider8486, who I think originally posted this to the Arcade One Up Canada subreddit. And this is the response from CodeMystics. Apparently, he reached out. So, yes, they're aware of the issue. Arcade One Up is also aware of the issue, where the speed was altered in the last firmware update, and we hear they are working on it. So, this is from CodeMystics, but they're hearing that Arcade One Up is working on it. So, let's be clear, it's in Arcade One Up's hands right now. Some people in the community seem to think Arcade One Up has no software engineers, but they do. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that they do, and that they do some of this work on their own. So not 100% of everything that ever gets done with software is done from a partner like CodeMystics, and that's the case here. Basically, CodeMystics did the firmware update to fix the issue with people quitting early, making sure they get penalized, handed that off to Arcade One Up, and then Arcade One Up tweaked it to change it from 54 frames per second to 60. Well, 60 isn't the correct original frames per second at NBA Jam, which I didn't even know. So it just goes to show there's that attention to detail with CodeMystics. So I have seen some people in the community crapping on CodeMystics over this mistake, but this response is pretty clear. It's not their fault. They were ahead of the curve. They knew it should be 54.7. Someone from Arcade One Up got a hold of it and switched it back to 60, which is, of course, a pretty standard frame rate. And it's not like a computer game, of course, that's designed to run at different speeds. No matter your frames per second, it'll play right. These games are designed to run at a set pace, so you screw with that and everything's going to be off. What I think is funny about this is before I read this, I was telling you, hey, I think it doubled in speed because I recorded those two parts of the video separately. They didn't double in speed. They went up like a few percent. They went up by 5 frames per second, but talk about placebo effect. Here I was reading that the speed was up and I play it and indeed the speed is up. And in my brain, I'm thinking, man, this is like double speed, but not even close. It's just 5 frames. So it's just funny how that works. But it is an issue. A fix is coming. It looks like the fix may be delayed a little bit because there's another fix that, or another issue that is rarer where you might go into really severe slowdown. At least that's what the guys from CodeMystics say. I haven't experienced that myself. So it looks like they're trying to fix both issues at once with one big update. You know how it is with firmware, you start messing around with updates, there's room for things to go bad. But by and large, I'm happy that we do get updates because, it's better to me that we get the occasional goof up like this as long as it's fixed quickly than have products that never get improved. So that's my view of it. But yeah, the NBA Jam update, avoid it at all costs. Enter the giveaway on the Arcade One Up site. Again, as a community building, which by the way, I think the ultimate community building would be online high scores. That's something the At Games Legends Ultimate can offer. And I don't even use it that much, but it's nice to know it's there. And I know for the guys that have worked really hard to get to the top of some of those lists, shout out to one of my viewers who's sitting, I don't know if he still is, but as of a couple weeks ago at the top of the Space Invaders score. That's nice bragging rights. At the end of the day, that's a big part of what arcades were about way back when. It wasn't just about community, it was also about competition and bragging. And I would like to see that brought back to other platforms like Arcade One Up and like iArcade. But for now, we got a design contest, so there's a little bit of competition element there. Thanks for watching, guys. I will catch you soon. Hey, consider hitting that join button to support the channel, and thanks so much for watching.